Now, this is honestly something I really didn't expect to do. This is really on the fly, but why not? What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, I know, famous last words. You know, I say what's the worst that could happen, but already the game isn't capturing. That's kind of concerning. And it's working. Alright, that seems like good enough reason to get things on the road. Now, since I... Wait, why is my frame rate at 60? Okay, we need to go into settings. Immediately. Oh no, I guess the game just likes sitting at 60 here. You know what, let's do something different. Let's do New Game Plus. That has to be worth something. Shoot. What's a good save file? You know, I'd like to imagine this was the last save file I used on Nightmare. So let's just use this lot as the source of all evil. Aw, I can't select Akuma difficulty. It's so disappointing how Akuma in classic mode apparently can't be selected. Oh well. Back to do Nightmare again. Maybe this time I can skip all the cutscenes. Keyword being maybe. You know, this game really does not want to go past 60. Oh, there's that infamous frame rate issue this game's known for.
No, this is not happening.
You know, I just want to point out how Sebastian seemingly lives in darkness. Like really, not even a streetlight or anything. Seems kind of weird. Also, he has a very long driveway.
Oh God, Lily!
So, let's see what good old Sebastian can do. You know, as dramatic and scary as that would be, you kind of lose the effect when the sliding door is suspiciously okay.
Lily, I'm here! Where are you?
You know, something tells me this frame rate's never going to improve. As much as I'd like to have the graphics on max, we all know there's no difference between low and high on this game. The only difference is the resolution half the stuff gets rendered at. Right, turn you off. And just like that, virtually no change in frame rate. You know what's the messed up thing? This game actually had a performance patch. Like the random patch that came out a few days ago. But you know what? That's okay, because we don't need 60 frames. We have 50. That's almost as good.
I'm coming, Lily! Just hold on!
You know, I have to say, it sure is nice of the fire to just stay there.
I'm here, Lily! I'm here!
Although what isn't nice is Lily just staying in her room screaming. You know, the least she could do is jump out the window.
Lily? Come on out!
Oh my gosh,
Lily!
this
Where are
letterboxing.
you? I'm here! Dad's here!
I completely forgot about that.
Here for me, Dad.
You know, I wonder if there's a patch for that, because knowing Bethesda, you know their games just need patches. And boy do they need a lot of patches. You can almost say it's like they were built on people doing their work. really could. What's a good waiting room song for this? Oh, I've got it. If this isn't good waiting room music for trying to fix a buggy Bethesda game, I don't know what is. Really, you'd think with a game that actually supports ultra-wide, they'd make sure the cutscenes work in ultra-wide. Like, why work on, like, the most important part, but then just decide to give up on, like, the cutscenes? You know, the one thing that would look better in ultra-wide. Seriously. It just makes too much sense to have cutscenes in a cinematic aspect ratio. But only Bethesda would go out of their way. It's like, oh, what's that? You got the game working perfectly? Well, make sure not to add ultra-wide support during the actual cutscenes. Because that just makes too much sense. Alright, I think I got the patch downloaded. Now, if I understand this right, hit F1. Holy shoot, it actually worked. Alright, the waiting room music. Almost forgot about that. You know what, since we know this game's never going to go past 60, I should probably just turn off the frame rate counter. There. Now we can see the cutscenes as intended. By having someone talk over them. Just like the true movie theater experience. You gotta love how they played that same scene 4 times and they still couldn't hide the textures loading in. That's what makes it better. Like, they went out of their way to try and hide something, and it didn't even work. You just gotta love that. You really just gotta appreciate how they tried and failed.
Kidman?
Hello, Sebastian. It's been a long time.
You know, I know this is a really minor thing, but it still bothers me how, for the English dub, they couldn't get any of the original voice actors because this happened during that voice acting protest.
Why are you here now, damn it?
Now, most of the sound alikes they got did a pretty good job.
Calm down, Sebastian.
Like, you can tell they sound different, but they're doing a good job to channel the original
What
character.
happened at Beacon is in the past. You
Although-
need to forget it.
I just have to say,
Just like that psychologist that
the
forced
guy they
something
got
in
for
my throat.
Sebastian really sounds like he's doing a bad Batman. But like a deliberately bad Batman. Kind of like how in F-Zero GX, Captain Falcon sounds like his voice actor's doing a deliberately bad Batman. It's like that type of deliberately bad.
I'm here because of this.
Ooh, burnt paper. That's always promising. Oh my gosh, even the picture had loaded! Yes!
Where did you get this?
There's that fancy revolver every Shinji Mikami protagonist has. Except the ones that don't. But who cares about those?
I read the police report. I was at her funeral.
Actually, now that I think about it,
History if we want to. Staging a death is child's play. Why
Yeah,
would I
thought's
come
gone.
out of the shadows just to lie to
I
you?
can't remember if Dante actually had a revolver or if he
Lily
just
is
had a
alive.
convenient shotgun.
And she's with us. But she's in danger.
You know, can I just say how weird it
Need
is
you
that,
to
like,
help save
the
her.
first game, as a pre-order bonus,
Save her.
was a shotgun?
What have you done to her? Get your hands off me!
Yeah, I just want to point out how badass Sebastian is here. Like, when you actually play the game, he's just like... How can you not do this good with, like, the not zombies?
Sebastian.
How can you take down not CIA agents, but you can't take down not zombies the same way?
Lily needs you.
Like, really? What type of selective superpowers do you have for that? Oh my gosh. Loden. Not even the depth of field can hide it. And I need to remember this game keeps pausing every time I tab out.
Good.
Yeah. Great. Where are we?
You know, there's something to be said about how having the game on the
You're in
lowest
one of
quality
our cities.
graphics
So this
and
is
the
the
highest
Almighty
quality
Logos.
graphics really doesn't look
Careful
that
about what you
different.
say. You don't know how powerful
The only
they are.
actual difference I noticed was with depth of field
So
and ambient
powerful they have to
occlusion, how
kidnap
having it on
washed-up
low
ex-cop
rendered it
talent.
at a lower resolution.
At least you're terrible
Speaking of lower resolutions, no, that's not what I want. I just remembered the one setting I forgot to change. Clearly we need two different anti-aliasing.
sense of humor is still intact.
Enough of this bullshit.
There.
Where's Lily?
Patience.
Now it's
All
perfect.
your answers are right here.
Just love that cinematic blur TAA does.
Beacon Mental Hospital.
It's not like it's a defect or anything.
An
It's
unfortunate
cinematic.
setback. But we used the knowledge gained.
Do
to
those
build
people
a
ever
new
show up in game?
and
I don't recall
vastly
seeing those people in the
improved STEM
bathtubs.
system.
Like, really?
What does this have to do with my daughter?
Imagine it. Millions of minds connected together.
Like, no, really, actually thinking about it. I don't think they actually show up in the plot.
Happiness for one is happiness for all. This machine, this miracle.
You know,
will
with how
allow our
prominent that
species to
shimmering
achieve
is
greatness.
on that pole, it really makes it seem like
We need
the
a
anti-aliasing
mind
isn't
that's
working.
Pure and clean enough to support thousands of personalities.
Knowing this game, I wouldn't be
The
surprised.
mind of an innocent child.
You connected
Hey, look,
Lily to
Sebastian's
that
in a
machine?
wheelchair.
Your daughter is quite special.
It's just like,
Most stable core candidate
oh shoot,
ever
what was the sci-fi Lords of the Fallen called? The Surge!
Thanks to
It's
her,
just like the
New
Surge.
STEM has been a
Sci-fi
smashing
setting?
success
Check. Wheelchair?
until
check.
recently.
Lady telling you what to do?
A
Check.
little over a week ago, Lily
How
vanished. Just
mysterious.
stopped sending signals.
It's almost like these are all
Then
tropes
the
of
STEM
sci-fi.
environment began to collapse. We thought it was just a
Almost.
technical glitch, an easy fix. So we sent a team of Mobius agents inside.
Nah, what are the odds that these are all
But then we
sci-fi
lost
tropes?
contact with them, and STEM went dark.
Think about this, Mr. Castellanos. I am providing.
You know, it's
an
kind of
opportunity
weird how much better this cutscene's
not only
running
to
than
see
everything
your daughter
else.
again, but to save.
I think I might actually have to cap the frame rate, even though I was kind of joking saying, oh, this game will never hit past 60.
her
I might actually have to use it.
Something you thought you
What are the
failed
odds?
to do before. You can save her, or let her die.
Like, really, what are the odds?
It's your choice.
You know, you really gotta appreciate how much more story the intro cutscene has than all of the prequel.
Sebastian. And
I know
please,
people complained about how
try
they
to
had
go out
no
with
idea what
any
was going on
feelings
in the
right
first
from the
Evil Within,
I know you
but
don't
it's really
trust us.
funny how basically this
have the same
cutscene
goals as you.
explains the whole plot of the first game.
I'm fine by myself.
Just remember
Like,
to
really?
call me the moment you find Lily, so that we can begin the extraction process.
It's almost hilarious how
I'll be out here for you.
different the storytelling is. Like, deliberately different. Hey look, USB!
And someone else will be in there for you.
What are the odds that Mobius
you
would have
ready?
USB? Specifically USB 3.0A and not USB-C. You know, for a company being evil and doing like crazy sci-fi stuff, you'd think they'd afford the latest technology.
Be careful in there, Sebastian.
Although I still want to point out how everyone's dressed like they're from the 70s still. Like, it's not as bad in the first game where you had people dressed in 70s outfits, and then you had flashbacks where people looked like they were from the Victorian era, because that just screwed everything up. In this one, they're a little more consistent about the 70s aesthetic. Just a little bit, though. You still get the crazy sci-fi factory that's like part of classic Resident Evil. Oh, there's that title drop. Now we know who made the game. Now we know who actually made it instead of who just published and funded it. Too bad we'll never figure out the voice actors. And here it is. Title drop number 1. I'd really love it if, like, just randomly during the game, you'd get logos that say The Evil Within 2. I'd personally just love that. Sadly, the closest to that is,
Is this... Where am I?
brands from the first game showing up in this game. Can I just say, playing in first person feels weird.
Dad, help me!
I'm coming, Lily! I know it's hard.
Okay, I had to stay quiet for that, just in case I ever decide to clip that. I always wanted a burning house as a,
Gone.
No.
like, as a sub emo, or not sub emo, like a sub notification.
On my own.
Just in case. Now I have it.
What the hell is this place?
Detective, we've got a call.
Oh, it's so weird playing in first person because you don't get to see Sebastian's animations. That's just so glaring. Like right now Sebastian's like grabbing his face, putting his hand over his head. I wonder if the phone answering will... Aw, they switched to third person.
What?
That's so disappointing.
Hello?
Really.
Sebastian, are you there?
Kidman?
So one thing I want to point out to anyone who played the first game with the Kidman chapters is
How are you feeling?
they got rid of the actual city. In order to upgrade to the graphics of The Office, they got rid of the Serenic backdrop.
Pass once your mind has adjusted.
That's so disappointing.
You're in an area separate from the main system right now. That's how we're able to maintain communication with you.
Now,
Construct is called
don't worry,
Signal Room.
I'm going to change
It's a safe
costumes.
zone that was formed
It
from your
wouldn't
own
be a
memories.
Resident Evil game
My
without
memories,
changing
huh?
costumes. And clearly this
That's
game
the
is
case
more
of where
Resident
my wife
Evil
and
than
child-
Resident Evil
This
6.
place looks like
Maybe
my
even
old
7.
office at Crimson City PD.
It was your self-conscious that built it. You should ask yourself
It's
that
just
question.
not Resident Evil without the costume
down to business.
changes.
We
And
sent
this
some
third
information
person
to your
walking
room.
feels very weird,
Anything
considering I put the
unfamiliar?
game in first person. Okay, we need classic. It's just not Sebastian without the stereotypical detective outfit. This is too modern. This is too... No, this is too expected from a Resident Evil protagonist, and this is too modern. And we already saw this outfit from flashbacks in the first game. So cool. Although one weird thing is, picking this outfit kind of messes up the Beacon side chapters because Sebastian shows up with this outfit in the reflections instead of like any other outfit. So wearing this ruins the Beacon side quest. But other than that, you pretty much should wear this the whole game. Wait, why'd I get a loading screen? That was concerning. I got a loading screen for picking an outfit in first-person mode.
A cat. I don't ever remember owning a cat.
Let's ignore the cat. We don't need the cat. The cat is a work of fiction, clearly. New save slot. Now, hopefully I remember that I am slot 6. Okay. Let's keep ignoring the cat for as long as we can. Maybe this is what advances the
There are
plot.
photos of a bunch of Mobius agents here. Your lost team, I assume.
That's them. Let us know if you locate any of them. You're our only line of
The
communication.
fact that they
with
gave me a
them.
skip
They're
prompt
stuck in
looks
Union and
promising.
searching for
Just maybe.
Union.
This STEM
the plot will
environment was designed
advance.
to look and feel like a small town called Union.
Great. So your experts need rescuing too, huh?
If anyone can do it, it's you.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, but I'm only here to find...
Damn it, I can't get Sebastian to
More
face the
info there.
camera
You should check it
and
out
walk
before you
into
go.
it. So close, but so far. Alright, now it's chapter 2.
A mirror,
Now the mirror works.
just like Beacon. Should be a way out. Why couldn't my memory just make regular doors?
You know, since Sebastian technically broke the mirror
Here we
with
go
his
again.
with his own sight
To the looking
or
glass.
appearance, does that count as being so ugly you broke a mirror? And do you still get the 7 years bad luck if you break it that way? I feel like these are the questions everyone needs to know about the evil within. Hey look, a pre-rendered cutscene.
Oh no.
Lily, what's wrong?
Can I just point out how weird it is that Lily's playing with the Sebastian doll of how he was dressed in the first game?
His head is broke.
Also, how do you break a doll like that?
Mom can fix it.
Like, you have to go out of your way to
She can
break it
fix it.
that way. Gotta love that CRT TV. The only way to play games involving this Nintendo Super Scope. Fortunately, it'll also attract the Smash community,
Sebastian?
so that TV is a double-edged
What's wrong?
sword.
Are you alright?
I've got a wonderful family.
Now, maybe it's just me,
Amazingly smart.
but seeing
and
Sebastian
beautiful.
without, like, the facial hair on his...
Why wouldn't I be?
It's a little bit, like, weird. It's, like, so unexpected.
You've been working too hard.
Like, it makes him look
It's
so much
making me
younger.
curious. Are you sure you're not coming down with something?
Weirdly enough, Myra, at least I think that's her name. It's either Myra or Mira. Myra looks the same after all these years. It's kind of a shame how when you play in first person, you lose like the smooth camera transition
Is this the right place?
into gameplay. It's still relatively smooth, just not as smooth as it could be. Hey look, curtains.
What the?
That's theatrical as heck. Door of painting. Sebastian looks behind, but we don't get to see it because first person. The door's there now. It's almost like we're going through a psycho break with how nothing makes sense. Why is this door a cutscene?
What the
Really, why?
hell?
You know, I think I would just switch it to third person. First person's just not doing it for me.
That's
Let's ignore this puzzle.
one of the search team.
We don't need that.
Baker.
Yeah, who cares about other characters?
Someone tried to block the way out.
That's not what we're after.
Or in.
What we're after is the exciting bookshelf-pushing puzzles, all the way from Resident Evil 5. What was the lamp turn off button? Part of me wants to see if I can turn it off and on during cutscenes. I just have to try it now. Damn, locked doors. The greatest enemy of every survival horror game. Making us do puzzles to advance. Ooh, let's get cutscene phone. Aw, you can't turn on and off the light in cutscenes.
Hello?
So close.
Shit. Who was that?
Now, I have to say, when was the last time you saw a 70s phone like that? Specifically in a random house-looking building. Granted, this could be like a town hall, but this really looks like just what's like a mansion gone all mad and twisty. Well, might as well turn on the light. Wait, didn't I have my light on? Why is it off during the cutscene? I feel so scammed.
What was that?
Shit.
Oh, so it's Space Tender bleh, cover. I would have assumed it would just be like press crouch twice. You know, you gotta love how pointless that teleport was. Like, that teleport was just... It's like the type of pointless things you do to just show off when no one's there, rather than just walk a few steps.
I gotta find a way out of here.
Hey look, it's the same place we were at, just more beat up, and now with the clock hand. Clearly we need to run after Weird Man. I mean, that's what I figured was always the right idea to do. Run at scary stuff until it starts chasing you. That's when you know you've made progress. Hey look, pretty work of art. Let's ignore it.
Christ.
You know, one thing I have to say though, having a rose underneath the dress, it's a really nice touch. Why can't we have dresses like that in real life? Screw the fact that we have legs that get in the way of dresses. Clearly flower dresses need to be a thing. Clearly. You know, I know it's become common to just use the elevator as to hide a loading screen, but I still appreciate it when it's done. I don't know, something about it just feels better than having a loading screen. You know, I know you're supposed to explore this, but I kind of just want to get into the actual gameplay part. You know, the open world part. The experimental part of this that makes it supposedly worthwhile. Keyword being supposedly. There's that amazing Sebastian picture. It's so HD.
What the hell?
Wait, I just realized Sebastian's wearing a different outfit in that picture. What a scam! I was promised the same outfit.
Oh, fuck.
Now, I never knew if the game expected you to, like, actually do a little circling to get it away from you, but I always assumed just running past it was the right idea. Still don't know if it really is intended to be done that way.
Shit. I'm trapped in here. Or maybe not.
I appreciate how well lit everything is in this place. Like, really? Even the air vents are well lit.
God damn it. What the hell is that thing?
How often does that happen, having well lit air vents? So one thing I didn't know about that saw blade is you'll actually get hurt by it if you don't back up. I always assumed that was scripted damage until I figured out you're supposed to back away from the saw, which kind of makes sense, all things considered.
Oh, I don't hear it.
Now, I really appreciate
gotta
how
be
you can move
kidding
around
me.
the camera in cutscenes. Ooh, 2 tutorials for sprinting. You know it's important when they give you 2. Yeah, I have to say, for someone who just fell with a knife in their chest, Sebastian makes a miraculously good recovery. He gets stabbed with a knife, pulls it out, and then just keeps it. How many people do you know are that lucky? Like, he falls twice with a knife, and he really never gets hurt from it. I'm just saying, Sebastian has to have crazy good luck, despite all the crazy bad stuff he gets himself in. Now to stand still and recover health. You know, it's funny, despite the game having that, where you can recover a little bit of health,
And now where am I?
it almost feels like it's there to make the game harder rather than easier. As strange as that sounds. Wait, what's mouse 3? Oh, I guess the scroll wheel is mouse 3? Oh no, it's clicking the scroll wheel. This is kind of a shame, I already have all the weapons. But no ammo for them. Well, I guess that's going to ruin the surprise when I pick up the gun from exiting the house. If I remember right, there's something here, but I might have already collected it on my original run. Yep, there's the part where you're supposed to actually get your first gun.
Where were you when I needed you?
Yeah, kind of a shame. But oh well.
Maybe this is the right place. Lily, I hope you're here.
I have to say, I know they're trying to be endearing with Sebastian keeping that photo after Kidman gave it to him, but why is it burnt? Like, couldn't they have given him a
get myself
non-burnt
into?
version of it?
Kidman,
Sebastian, where have you been? We lost you.
I don't know.
Ooh, it's
But
raining.
it sure as hell wasn't a quaint little town.
Without
There's something bad
clouds.
happening in here, Kidman. Baker is
Advanced
dead.
rain.
There's a killer running around in here, doing things that are... It's like Beacon all over again. What the fuck did you just
Gotta
send
love
me
your
into?
Resident Evil herbs.
I don't know. We're in the dark out here. Baker was the team leader. If he's dead, that doesn't bode well for the rest of them. Keep searching around. The more info you gather, the more I'll be able to help you.
Yeah, I can't remember if
Sure.
here's all the unlocks. I know Sebastian has a lamp on his hip in the first game, but I'm pretty sure it's in a different spot when he uses the modern outfit. I'm not sure if that's just like a reference or if they just ended up reusing parts of the original.
Battery low.
Well, that's a good sign. That's set on low battery.
Don't worry, Sebastian. It's just a small, quiet town.
Shit.
Yeah. Too quiet.
I don't even think I have a charging cable for it.
Hello?
That is
Hey!
never a good sign.
She had to have heard me. Better check it out.
I've got a cutscene. I had to go looking for a charging cable. Gotta love convenient cutscenes.
Hello?
Although I guess the same couldn't be said about inconvenient cutscenes.
Skin and bones. Gotta eat. Clean your plate. You gotta eat. Skin and bones. I said eat!
You know, for this being used in like the marketing, kind of amazing how little this has to do with the actual plot.
Charging battery.
Like really, you would honestly expect more for how much this got used in advertisements.
What the?
It looks like Sebastian's using a different gun in cutscenes despite being real time. You know, I just have to say, for someone who entered this house to explore it, it sure is weird how Sebastian just randomly turns his back. It's almost like they just wanted it for the camera effect. Gotta check up on this guy. Isn't it weird how he now has a completely different face? Like, really? They couldn't even draw the same face. You can tell they just switched out to a... Well, at least he's wearing the same outfit. You know, wouldn't that just be worse if it was like a different face and outfit? Yeah, the funny thing about this guy is he only opens the door if you get near it. Yeah, I know. If I remember right, he doesn't show up on harder difficulties. Or, I'm sorry, he only shows up on harder difficulties. Which is weird, because this might as well still be part of the tutorial. So the fact that they're holding punches feels a little bit weird. So unlike that lady, how she won't vanish, so you can get some interesting stuff with how you kill her.
Kidman.
That was
The other
fast.
one vanishes and is
Did you learn anything
never the
new?
same type.
Yeah.
This
I
model is
did.
always random.
I learned that it really is like Beacon in here. The people in here are turning into creatures.
Damn it. What the hell happened?
I don't know. But it means that Lily is in
Come
more
on,
danger than
Sebastian.
just being lost.
You can put the walkie-talkie on the table and pick up
Save
the
it, Kidman.
ooze.
Leave it to me. I'm gonna find her.
Wait, why am I getting the wheelchair tutorial? Wouldn't you expect to get it when you're near a wheelchair? I mean, isn't that what makes sense? Get near a wheelchair to learn how to wheelchair. Wait, I kind of don't want the knife. I kind of want the brass knuckles just for the sake of it. You get like such a goofy animation for it, but it's so great. Like the knife one actually makes sense, but this one's just like the most exaggerated punch. And I like how it's only brass knuckles on one hand. Do you really need two of them on one? Wouldn't it make more sense to spread them out evenly? Hey look, the speed limit sign. Come on, Sebastian, run into the cutscene to get free stamina. You can do it. Almost there. There's the free stamina.
O'Neill, move!
Now, I have to say, for someone who also has a gun, it sure is weird how he didn't bother to use it. Or the fact that that not zombie could rip through a steel, or not steel, a bulletproof vest.
Damn. But those things are everywhere.
Hey look, the rain stopped.
Need to get in there and squeeze that guy for info.
Now for the good old stealth kill system. You know, for what it is, it honestly works pretty well. Too bad we don't need stealth when we have brass knuckles. Screw all the gunplay. All we need are brass knuckles. And glass bottles. Specifically in that order. Aw, he didn't drop anything. Now, if I remember right, that body in the cutscene is in a completely different spot. Can I get the stealth kill? Oh, damn it. I can't get the stealth kill if I actually run to him. Alright, now it's time for that tactical running part. Just like magic, they don't know where I went. The power of bushes. Alright, health set green. Gotta just punch everyone. Seriously, why don't more people use brass knuckles? Just look how effective they are. You just rip off arms. If that isn't a sign of quality craftsmanship, I don't know what is. Now, since this is a New Game Plus thing, I have most of the upgrades, just not all of them. Is this really where he died? And also, wasn't the road here filled out? Like, didn't they run from that direction? Now for the part that's supposed to be stressful if you don't kill everyone. Typically you want to do this fast because it drags attention.
Oh, fuck.
Like that. Zombies that conspicuously should be there. Or, I'm sorry, not zombies.
Alright. Hopefully that'll hold.
Can I shoot them through the window? Ah, neat, even the window broke. Can I shoot him? Can I shoot him also? Clearly I don't need the ammunition. When you have brass knuckles, nothing can hurt you. Not even other people with brass knuckles. I might as well stop killing them. I'm not going to get too much out of it. Shoot, here's the worst part. I can't remember what parts I have and haven't picked up from my original new game. It's basically been a year since I played this game seriously. And now for more cutscenes.
Don't come any closer! Okay, calm down. Don't shoot.
You know, I know that the guy has a bulletproof vest, but
I'm not gonna
I
hurt
can't help but feel like
See?
Sebastian is coming from a place of higher strength. Like, you know, in trading cards, or not trading cards,
can
in like
lower your
poker,
gun.
Sebastian's basically
on
the
your
guy with
side.
21.
You're not
So
Mobius.
he knows he's won, regardless of what happens
You
here.
might not be one of those things, but that doesn't mean you're on my side.
You're right. I don't work for Mobius. But I was sent here by them.
Have you seen what those things out there? What they can do?
Yeah, I have. Lucky for you, your partner was willing to sacrifice himself so you
Why didn't
could
Sebastian
escape.
take his
He
gun?
wasn't my partner.
Now that I think about it.
He was just a member of Union security detail.
Like, you actually do that in
Protecting
gameplay.
me was his job.
You scavenge
My
other
job
people.
is to solve a hardware issue.
So why didn't Sebastian take
Dying
his
inside
gun?
here is above my pay grade. I'm not a soldier. I'm just a technician.
I know.
Stop, or I'll shoot! No!
You know, as stupid as this cutscene
Soldier
is,
would have taken
I
the
love how
safe-
Sebastian takes the gun from him. That just makes it great.
Told you. We're on the same side.
Sebastian's like this badass in cutscenes,
Let's
but
try this
in
again.
actual gameplay,
I'm Sebastian Castellanos.
it doesn't work out that way. In gameplay, like, this is the guy who's using everything but the gun.
I'm O'Neill. Liam.
And I really mean everything but the gun.
So you're not Mobius, but they sent you in here? Why?
I'm
So
looking
I'd like
for
to
him.
imagine for these cutscenes, Bethesda
to
was
restore
just
the
like,
core.
hey, remember what we did in
Just like
Fallout
you are.
4?
Yeah?
Let's do it
luck
again.
with that.
It'll save
I'm done.
so much
I'm just
money
gonna
for
hold out here
instead of
until extraction.
cutscenes.
They can't
And
extract
who
you.
needs people walking and
Not until
talking?
Lily is
Let's just
found.
have them sit
Who's
down,
Lily?
talk.
Look, everyone is stuck in here
It's like-
until the core is located.
Budget cutscenes.
Can you help me out?
If you're asking me to go out
Truly
there
the
with you,
innovation
you
we
can
were
forget
waiting
about
for.
it. This is a safe house, so I'm staying safe. Got me? But I may have a lead on the core. I
Truly.
detected some signals nearby that resonate at the core's frequency. We were trying to track them when we got attacked. Here, listen to this. It sounds like a little girl, right?
Quiet.
You know, they must have really been proud of their texture
her?
and character model
core?
work, considering
think
how
so.
close they zoom
But I've been
in.
picking up all sorts of weird
And
signals
it's kind
on
of
my
funny
communicator since we
considering
got
how
here.
this game by
No way to
default
know for
doesn't
sure
use
until you
any
track it to its source.
anisotropic
How do I do
filtering.
that?
Your
And
communicator
here's the
can
funny
pick it up
thing.
too.
If you try to
Once you're out
force
there,
it
check it.
through the ini
You'll probably
files,
pick up other signals
the
while you're out
built-in
there. It
anisotropic
wouldn't hurt to
filtering
follow them
has
to
a
find out
bug
what-
No way.
where it sharpens the
core
image.
first.
So if
It's
you
the
go
only
past
way we're
4,
getting
the
out of
image is
here.
too sharp.
Suit yourself.
Let's pair up our communicators.
But funny enough,
way I can
using the
tell you if I
control
find
panel
anything.
one,
Yeah.
anisotropic
okay.
filtering,
Can't hurt. I
tends
guess.
to produce better results.
So
Let's
you've been
talk
stuck
about
in
the
here a week
mission.
already.
Has it
Clearly
been
that's
that
what we
long?
need to know.
Yeah. So time's a little fluid in here. This was supposed to be a simple in and out job. Like home in time for dinner simple. But this is different than anything I've ever seen before.
What do you mean?
Wonky stuff usually happens when a core goes AWOL.
Like
but
really, when you think
what's
about
happening
this,
is more than that. This
when the heck
place
did
is
people
falling
actually
apart at the
sit down and
seams.
tell you what
We
happened
use
in the
stable
first
field
Evil
emitter, but
Within?
it's not working like it's supposed to.
What's the stable field emitter?
If Mobius sent you in here, shouldn't you know this stuff already?
There were 5 members of your team?
There was a security force already.
You know,
in
for
here to help
Sebastian
us,
being a
but yeah,
detective, and I
there
get
are
that his
5 search team
personality is that
members.
he's headstrong,
Wait, did you just say were?
he kind
found
of doesn't
Baker.
do a good job being a detective. Like, getting
Doesn't
information.
surprise me. He locked onto a powerful signal and went
Like
to
in the first
investigate.
game, he did a
I told him we
lot
should just
better.
request extraction and report our findings,
Just off
leave
the notes you
dangerous
read
work to
about
somebody
himself.
else. But he wouldn't hear of it, being team leader and all. always had to be the
Kind of
brave
funny,
one.
all things
If you
considered.
ask me, there's a thin line between
The
brave
detective,
and foolish.
who seemingly
Yeah.
doesn't do detecting
There's a thin
or
line
detective
between
work,
prudent and
but is
cowardly.
somehow a really good
Tomato,
detective.
tomato. I'm not saying I'm glad he's dead. What kind of asshole do you think I am? I hope the others are okay.
I'll let you know if I find anybody else.
You'd really do that? Thanks. I'd appreciate that.
It's more dangerous out there than I expected.
Supplies.
Any
This is what we
idea where I can
want,
get
because
some
this
weapons
actually
and
starts
supplies?
side
I
quest.
tried to tell you about this one signal, but you didn't want to hear it.
Well, I'm all ears now.
I picked something up from 2 Mobius security team members who were talking
You know,
about
all things
weapons caches.
considered,
Maybe you can follow
since
it and get
O'Neill's
some
just
gear.
staying here,
Maybe
wouldn't it
they're
make
out there
more
can help
sense
you
for
out.
him to
I'll think about it.
hand over his
Come on,
bulletproof
man.
vest?
I'm all alone in here. I could use some protection.
Maybe if you hadn't let your last guard take the fall for you.
Whatever.
Granted,
I'll mark
none
the
of these
signal on your
characters
communicator.
have
Follow it or
guns,
don't follow it.
or they're not zombies
care.
anyways, and how they seemingly were able to rip through. I feel like it'd still be some help. Nothing against the cloth vest. Now for the best part. Coffee.
Takes the edge off.
So one of the neat things about the coffee is Sebastian will actually comment on... He'll give different comments for coffee from different places. It's a really nice but minor touch. Alright. So like any good survival horror, or... yeah, like any good survival horror game, take everything that isn't nailed down. Everything.
What the?
And even
What's
take some of
that?
the things that are nailed down. Like those pigeons. Or I guess crows. Make sure to take the crows. Especially the crows.
Okay. Let's see if I can find this signal they
You know
mentioned.
they're holding out on you. Oh, the game.
We're screwed.
Oh wait, it does let me walk on.
Suck it up, James. We've been through worse than this. And we're better armed this time.
That must be the signal O'Neill mentioned.
Clearly we should go to that church. And just like that, the starting intro area is removed completely. Oh my gosh! The broken, like, not zombie bits are still there from when I killed them. That's so goofy, they didn't despawn it.
Hell. If it keeps breaking apart like this, there won't be any Union to search. I gotta try to find that signal.
Is it still there? Oh my gosh, it's still there! And some of them are rotating! Oh my gosh, I need to get the... I need to get the sniper rifle out. Alright. Yep, just there floating. Oh, that's great. They don't despawn it. Now let's kill this guy. And him. Yeah, screw the parts that are building tension. Let's just run up to everyone and hit them with brass knuckles. As any good detective would. Especially with the detective with superpowers of being a Spanish detective and not having to say any lines of Spanish in the first game. You know that's a really good superpower. You could almost say it's the best superpower to have. To be Spanish and not have to say anything in Spanish. Sadly, this game doesn't have Sebastian with said superpower.
Forgive me for what I've done. Please forgive me for what I've done. Please forgive me. Oh my God. Please. I know I've sinned, but not this. Please.
Yeah, I don't remember the load-in actually being this bad. I wonder if the new patch, which is supposed to help with performance, somehow introduced it.
Forgive me.
Are you okay?
Forgive me. Please forgive me. Oh God, please. Please.
You know, as stupid as this cutscene is and how they're just referencing a movie, I really love how this actually comes back to the plot later. As dumb as this is, this actually has plot relevance. Yeah, I know, I'm just as surprised that this would ever come back to matter anything. Like, I know it's expected to see the priest get up, but the first time I went through this, I was kind of surprised, like, people just broke in through the window. Now, typically the guy over there is supposed to, like, jump out to scare you when you're finished there, but you can actually run up to him and stealth kill him. Like, actually run, because he's so focused on getting to the door. Now, one thing I always thought that was kind of weird, Sebastian calls this guy the father, and not the one over there.
Huh. Looks like the Padre had some fight in him.
I always thought that was weird, because considering how this guy's in, like, robes, I would imagine him to be the father before the other one. And also, how did that weird gunk actually grow over his outfit? Like, with these guys it makes sense, because their clothes is ripped. But how exactly did it start growing over? Now, one thing I love about this stupid church is right here. You see how there's like a radiator and a photo frame? And the roof is right there? And how there's no entrance in the back? If you go outside, there's a window right here. They forgot to actually model this part differently from the other side, indoors. I don't know why, but I just find that great. How they ignored this part and just repeated the same model inside. I know it's such a dumb oversight, especially since I'm pretty sure this church is concept art from the first game. But there's something about that that I just find funny. They managed to completely miss. Hey, look, a hot makeout scene. We can't have people making out in dark alleys. That's not Twitch friendly. Just look at that guy. You know he got some good action. How am I full on glass bottles? Didn't I use a few? Now, normally you get the sniper rifle up here, but I'm kind of curious what happens since I already have it. Do I get another one, or is it just removed? Shoot, I probably should have killed those birds. Or crows. What do I get for investigating you now? Oh, I guess I just get parts now. Makes sense. Like, it's a good fix, rather than give you nothing. Just give you parts. I can't remember. Can I jump off? No. I have to jump off around here. Or not at all. I actually have to use the ladder. One thing I honestly love about how this game handles indoors is how basically buildings you can't go in and buildings you can go in have the same amount of quality put into them. Now, I know this, like, it's a little bit different than that one because, like, oh, you can see the insides. But not all of them are like that. Like, a third of the buildings you can go into, you can't actually see through their doors. I imagine it's because of, you know, limitations. They couldn't do it for all buildings. But I think that's a really nice touch, how most of the buildings are designed with the same amount of quality, even if you can't go in. Still like any good survival horror game. We'll come back to that locked door later. As you would imagine, locked doors that seem unimportant will later hold all the plot. Now, one thing I always thought that was weird is Sebastian will just go through garbage cans, just like Ness from Earthbound. Oh neat, the rock didn't vanish. These doors, there are references to the first Evil Within. Damn it, I couldn't get two characters in one punch. Ooh, the axe. Sadly not as strong as the brass knuckles. If I remember right, the crossbow should be here.
Haven't seen one of these in a while.
Weird. I get that one again, but I don't get the sniper rifle? It's a weird oddity. So as you would expect, if you don't kill all the enemies, they'll kind of rush towards you here. But since I killed a few of them, not as bad as it would be. Thankfully, they don't exactly rush right towards you, just in your general area. But they will get you if you just stand there, so eventually you will have to make a choice. Although, you can honestly run away from them. You're so close to, like, the safe house that as long as you manage your stamina right, you really wouldn't have any problem. Even without the brass knuckles. Love how stupidly overpowered the brass knuckles are. And the best part is, there's even better weapons. As stupid as that sounds, there are actually better weapons than the brass knuckles. Heck, there's even a setting in game. If you want even more strength, you can turn on super strength mode. So if the brass knuckles aren't doing it for you, okay. Joey, thank you so much for the raid. Host. I think it's a host? How was your stream? Don't worry, one day I'll get better at figuring out the difference between the two just by sight. So yeah, how was your stream? Hey look, a person getting hurt. Let's save them. Hey look, we can't kill them until they're dead. How convenient. My stream's going pretty good. I'm just casually playing this game because of Halloween. I say casually because I'm using the brass knuckles. They're like weirdly good at everything. They're somehow even better than the actual gun. Somehow. If you ever thought you needed more than just a gun, apparently the answer is brass knuckles. Apparently brass knuckles are so good they can rip off arms and legs. That makes sense. Small piece of metal around your fist, unstoppable. No piece of metal? Clearly you're not meant to rip limbs off. I know I'm basically playing this game the wrong way by just using the stupid stuff. But there's something fun about just running up to people with brass knuckles. Exactly, these brass knuckles are amazing. Now, if only I could get the crows with them. If only. Don't worry, I'll find a way to punch the crows. Now I think about it, I think there is an actual way to punch the crows with the brass knuckles. It involves doing this obscure side quest. But I might as well do it. There's nothing like punching birds, all as a reward for a side quest. And punching conspicuously big crates that are suspiciously hollow. Alright. Now to start the weird bird crow side quest. Ooh, a moving van. Or truck. Clearly this is a good sign. Brass knuckles and bottles. Clearly a winning combo. Just look at it, it works for Sebastian. Clearly this is a combo that wasn't meant for mortals. Like, forget about all the axes. They're nothing compared to the brass knuckles. Now, if I remember right, this is supposed to be the spot where a mini-boss gets introduced. But if I remember right, the brass knuckles are just as good at getting it. Oh my gosh, Joey, thank you so much for the 100 bits. Trick or treat. So how did your Halloween go? I completely forgot about, like, Halloween stuff. Did you give out candy or did you go, you know, trick-or-treating for candy? I don't know why. I know I just said I was doing this because of Halloween, but I kind of forgot about, like, Halloween, as dumb as that sounds. Ah, shoot, I got this from the wrong side. Now, I'd really like to believe that in these car dealer places, there are just like secret dungeons underneath, or like bomb shelters. Aw, that's kind of disappointing. I gave out candy, and I would have gone trick-or-treating had I had a costume. Although I guess for my case it's a little bit different, because people still think I'm 16. could not believe how often I get ID'd. Yeah, I would have still gone trick-or-treating. And look, it's Hydration Bot. Only 10 minutes late. Oh, I'm never giving that up. Even though I've, like, given out candy for, like, the past few years, as soon as I get a good costume, I'm going to go trick-or-treating again. Sure, why not? Seems like the best of plans. Is this ladder an exit or actually more of the dungeon? I can't tell. Barbed wire. That I conveniently can't get rid of. Well, that was convenient. Just aim at people and they'll get up. How do I get someone's attention? Maybe if I shoot the gun. Alright, this is working out. Wow, that tripwire did not work the way I expected. I don't think you're supposed to stand on midair like that. Or survive explosions, either. Or have an axe after I saw you throw it. Oh shoot. I'm seeing things that weren't meant to be seen. This is the true evil within. I love messing up jump scares like that. Just running around the guy instead of having him break open and scare you. There's something great about that. Oh no, both of them went trick-or-treating. They both had costumes though. I think it's fair. If you have a costume, you should get candy. At least that's the way I always saw it. Blue went dressed as a ninja, and then dear old Senora B had a pumpkin dress. Now I imagine it's all in the costume. As long as you have a really good costume, I imagine it'll be... Like, I feel like if you have a good costume, basically, you deserve to have candy given to you. I think it works out well. Like, the cooler your costume is, the more candy you should get. Because that's seemingly the system I've seen. Why do I feel like I did that mini dungeon wrong? Yeah, I need to go back in this factory or repair shop. Clearly I messed up the order somewhere. Curse you non-linear puzzles. Having multiple outcomes. Now how do I get across there without having the key card? Well, there's the key card. You know, I was really hoping they'd just have the answer behind.
What's this? Some kind of cipher?
maybe it's just me. You have to wonder, why is it okay for them to crawl through, but not Sebastian? Like, I get that Sebastian's a little more built, but if they did it, he surely can. Okay, I need to go through my inventory. Oh, holy shoot, Elixir! Thank you so much for the... I think it's a host? Hopefully my notifications aren't lying to me? Dungeon raid. Funny enough, I am in a dungeon. So, Elixir, how was your raid? Hello, Pastor. I swear Sebastian should be able to fit through that. Now comes the question of, can I find my inventory? I'm doing good, Pastor. Just here trying to decipher the greatest mystery of all. The passcode, even when you have the password. Yep, ultra wide, all in non-720. Because apparently 720 and ultra wide isn't 720. Yeah, I'd say go for it. It really makes everything look ultra cinematic. And when I say ultra, I mean just the same as regular movies. Darn. I feel like... Oh. That's the part of the puzzle I was missing. Okay, so B 9-6 and then 7-6. Wow, that was a lot easier than I thought. Why did I think to look at the door? I feel kind of dumb now. Like, the answer's just right there. Really? Like, did the cutscenes get to you? Like the 20 minutes of cutscene? Was it the weird frame rate issues? Because this game is weirdly filled with them. Hey, look, a mouse. I can understand. It's kind of slow. Which is weird, because the first game just throws you into it. Alright, the ladder's broke. You know, this really bothers me. Sebastian's smart. Can't he just prop up the ladder? Why does he have to go find a different route? He's a Spanish detective. I'm pretty sure they teach you in detective school how to put ladders up. Yeah, it's not done as gracefully as it could be. Like the planks. Like, there's a storage house with planks that only get removed during a cutscene, but you can visit them a lot earlier. And apparently that bothers a lot of people. Like, the planks make, apparently, the experience less enjoyable. Yeah, I could see why. I mean, it's an open world game where you're basically told, don't use the gun. Here's a gun. I could see why people wouldn't like that. Yeah. There's like a storage house with a bunch of planks that only get removed in a cutscene, but you can reach the storage plank like 3 chapters before you're meant to go there. And there's like a light shining on them. So it really makes you think you're supposed to go there when you get there. I know, everyone looks so weird, it's almost like they all escaped a carnival. Almost. Aw, I can't climb the train. A lot of mouses here. I wonder if they're trying to tell me something. Nope, I guess this is just a mouse room. So, I guess since a couple of more people got into chat now, I mean, really, what are the odds of getting like a raid after another? How was everyone's Halloween? Did anyone go trick-or-treating or hand out candy? You know, Pastor, as weird as it sounds, like in around March, assuming CES, companies actually believe companies actually go through their promise when they're advertising stuff. A bunch of new widescreen monitors are going to get released then, so maybe the older ones will... What's the word I'm looking for? Maybe the older ones will go on sale? Oh, neat. You also handed out candy. How many kids did you get? And did you get like any adults dressed in costume? Oh, now I get why the rats are here. It's a reference to Dishonored. Well, I guess that makes sense, having a bunch of rats. I handed out candy again this year, mostly because I just couldn't think of a good costume to wear. You know, as dumb as this sounds, considering I owned both Dishonored 1 and 2, I never played it either. Oh neat, some of the parents played dress up. Like, maybe it's just my neighborhood turning all weird, but I remember like a few years ago, like even teenagers were dressing up in costume. But now nobody dresses up in costume except for kids and their parents. Hey look, a camera. That isn't foreshadowing. Weird, I thought I had all the pouch upgrades. A conspicuous wire. One of the things I always thought was weird about wires, like people made jokes about how like in the first game, how you could never disarm them. But I think they just made it worse here, where you quite literally can't disarm them. You basically have to walk into the trap. Scary man. Clearly we just need to punch. Oh neat, you went in full tactical gear? Older. Gotta love the at the end. Oh, he wasn't poor. If anything, he might have been one of those hitchhikers. Stealing free, transportation from the train. Sebastian being a cop, clearly he had to do this. He was honor-bound by it.
There's too many of them. No communication from Mobius. We're cut off. I'm calling to Alpha 1.
Vasilix feeling young.
You know the protocol. Alpha 1. Are you serious? What about the tech team?
So, I'd like to imagine when I hear full gear, just dressing up like one of these guys.
Don't mean shit in here. You got a problem with that? You kidding me? I've been waiting to be let off the chain.
probably not fast. I don't believe we have met.
Weapon stashes. Load up and clean house. No matter what it looks like, monster or human, take it out with extreme prejudice.
Yeah, I know. Who am I?
Whatever it was, it looks like they were here.
Even I'm wondering that. It's almost like there are name tags somewhere on Twitch.
More signals.
Too bad they're never there when you
Not sure if I
need
want to
them.
run into these two. Sounds
Never.
like they went rogue. Then again, weapons are useful.
You know, as dumb as this sounds about like the 144 hertz frame rate thing, like it's always nice to have a higher refresh rate, and like you can really feel it in... What's the word I'm looking for? Like you can feel it on the desktop. But like, I feel like you can never get any game to run 144. Oh wow, so you really were dressed like one of the Mobius guys. You know, I don't doubt it would help there. That probably would be the place where it'd help a lot. And I think Rocket League is like well optimized, unlike this game. Maybe you could actually get good frame rate on that. How the heck do I set checkpoints? It's not an open world game without having to put checkpoints everywhere. Now, I really love how the jump scare gets ruined if you follow the guy. You know, funny enough, this game can't even do widescreen properly. Even though it supports widescreen in the actual game, you have to get a mod to get it to work in cutscenes. No, this game isn't old, even though you'd think it is. This game actually came out last year. But funny enough, they finally released another patch for it a few days ago. And it fixes the performance by not enough. So it's still not even playable after a year of performance patches. You know what's the weird thing? Even though this game can't even get 60, it can weirdly enough, like if by the miracle you can get it past 60, it doesn't run into weird problems.
Shop to get some supplies. Meet me at the visitor center when you're done. The visitor center? Why? I told the survivors I found earlier to go there and hide
18
out.
plus. If you mean by like rating, it's rated M. That's kind of like 18 plus.
Good thinking.
Ooh, another weird basement to go into. Yeah, you don't have to worry about the game breaking at over 60. All you have to worry about is the game ever getting close to 60.
This computer's still working.
Okay, here, I can actually turn on the frame rate counter. Where is it? Here it is. Ah, shoot, I just caught the joke. You said person, not frames. Oh, damn it, I'm an idiot. How did I not catch that joke? Yeah, I should probably turn off the frame rate cap. But yeah, for whatever it's worth, when you're actually in numbers like 90, you don't clip through the floor. What are the odds? Too bad you'll never get 60 in actual gameplay. Yeah, too bad you only get them, like, for brief moments. Like, you so much as turn the camera too fast and your frame rate goes down. It's so weird. I've never really played a game before this where if you just shake the camera, your frame rate goes down. It's almost like it's so bad it's kind of funny. Yeah, thankfully. At least it's staying close to 60. Hey look, scary lady. Well, she's gone. Even though weird tentacles are coming out of her face, she's not coming up. I really love how the brass knuckles ruin any sense of challenge. Like, the brass knuckles are, like, silly overpowered. And then it's kind of surprising when you figure out there's even stronger weapons. Oh, so there's like this weird goo. It's... You use the goo to receive power-ups while you're in a wheelchair? As weird as that sounds. I think they said the goo was like brain goo in the first game. So yeah, weird brain goo that you get from ripping arms off. That makes sense, right? Brain goo to power you up in a wheelchair. If that doesn't make sense, then I don't know what does. Yeah, don't you feel empowered while you're in a wheelchair? Clearly Sebastian does. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's a wheelchair. Every superhero should clearly have wheelchairs. I don't know why, but I kind of expected to get the shotgun again. Sadly, no. Although, if you like go into the cheats option, the closest thing to super fast speed is infinite stamina. So it's like a fifth of the way there to being like the Flash. I need to go see why my dog's barking. I'll be right back. And I'm back! Still have no idea why the dog was barking, but... You know, I would say that's neither here or now, but... that's never the case. Oh, right, I should probably turn off the actual music. For the in-game music. Which may or may not exist. You know, maybe I'm just not expecting it, but I swear I've heard like those types of jokes suspiciously more often today than any other day of the week so far. Is it something about it being Halloween or Wednesday? Exactly, Pastor. Just listen to how spooky and ambient this music is. Isn't it so horrifying that you could just never go to sleep with it playing? Well, I think I got everything here. Even though that elevator's clearly working, there's nothing left here. Even though you really would think you'd be able to use the elevator. Definitely nothing more going on here. Now to go back to the slightly more open world part. God, I miss those bullets. They're like so shiny. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so how do you apply rusty locks also to people's arms? Because with the power of brass knuckles, Sebastian can rip off arms and legs. Yeah, that checks out everything. And that also checks everything out. For the frame rate to slowly, and I mean really slowly, fight its way back to 60. Oh, this is the Evil Within too. I think it says it on the pause menu. Damn it, it doesn't. Basically the sequel to the first Evil Within nobody thought we'd ever get, but somehow decides to go in a completely different direction. Because, you know, that makes sense for a sequel. Like the first game, for being a survival horror game, make it open world. Wait, the thing? Was the logo actually on the bottom? Hey look, more CRT TVs. It's almost like it's... You really would think this is set in the 70s, despite being set in 2010 plus year. Okay. Wow, bulletproof TV. That TV must have been expensive. Right, I should probably put the map on the other checkpoint. You know, I was hoping it'd break too, considering you can break the glass in cars. I was really hoping it'd also break. Eh, but I guess not. Bulletproof TV? Because why not? Sadly, the people aren't bulletproof. Just the TVs here. Alright, later, Pastor. Hope you have a good evening. Assuming it's evening for you, if not morning, or noon, or if you have the magical time zone where it's all 3. Still need to figure out what they call that part of day with the all 3 time zone. No, I should probably turn off the frame rate counter. I bet that's probably just ruining the bit rate. Just having a bunch of small numbers constantly changing. Yeah, I can't tell, was that a person or a stump? Being rich beyond imagination. Nah. Ooh, a trash can to go digging through. Just like Earthbound. I like how Sebastian has, like, satchels on his costume, but he didn't even put it in the right satchel. Holy shoot, you're right, I didn't even think about that. That's how you get the ultimate 3 in at once time zone. Hijacking a jet. It makes perfect sense now. Sure is nice how the fire didn't spread through the grass. Really nice of the grass to just let the flame just kind of float there. No, I like how I'm still getting everything that isn't nailed to the ground, as if I needed more ammunition. I should probably use some of it. Hey look, how convenient, a bench to use it. Yeah, I guess wet grass makes some sense. Upgrades, which I'm sure will have some strategic gameplay advantage. I feel like these probably would have mattered if I upgraded them, you know, before the new game plus cycle. Now it kind of just feels empty. Although I think you do get an achievement if you upgrade everything. Which, I don't know. I feel like upgrading stuff is hard at first, but then at one point you just end up with way too much stuff where it stops being hard. It's kind of weird. Oh shoot, I don't have the parts in. I'll be right back again. You know, I knew I should have expected the dog barking again, but I don't know, that's like the one thing you can never expect. Just random pets barking. And also, maybe it's just me, but why is the assault rifle like weirdly expensive to upgrade? Like, I even think it's more expensive than the Magnum, and that's like the bonus weapon you get for beating the game. I don't know, that'd be weird if they were just walking outside my house and getting a dog to bark. Then again, what do I know? There's probably a bunch of crazy people just walking casually outside. I kind of don't want to end the number on that one. I kind of want to get another upgrade in. Oh, thank goodness, something to upgrade it. Yeah, like, really, why is the AR... Why is the AR so expensive to upgrade? Ah, damn it, why do I keep exiting out all the way? Like, really, all of its upgrades are just weirdly more expensive than anything else. Why the AR? And only the AR? Why not any other thing? Why is it just this one, where even the bonus weapon is cheaper? Well, back to getting everything that isn't nailed to the ground. Now I actually have a reason. Hold on, I'll be right back. You know, maybe it's just me, but I'm starting to think everyone planned all these interruptions. They're all happening one after another. Like, how convenient that one ends right after another one starts. If that isn't planned, I don't know what is. Well, no, I guess actually being planned would really be something. But it sure feels like it's planned, interruptions. Now to slowly walk my way towards that marker. Wasn't I already here? No smoking. Why do I get the feeling this guy was smoking and something awful happened?
Shit! How am I supposed to get supplies if every cache is overrun with those things?
Can I like walk outside the memory zone? Aw, there's an invisible wall.
I locked a bunch of those things in the room underneath the auto body shop. I'm heading to...
I wanted to just walk outside and like leave this memory playing.
There's a supply cache under here? I gotta get down there.
You know, the weird thing is I think I might have already gotten the supply cache.
A new signal.
James, where the fuck are you? Get your ass to the visitor center. You're never gonna believe.
Visitor center it is.
You know, you'd think with the game showing you the visitor center, you'd think Sebastian would at least mark the map for you. But I guess not. I gotta love how this game has like the same problem Fallout 4 does, where it's you're supposed to be looking for your kid, but there's really nothing stopping you from getting distracted with all the side quests. Like, nothing in the slightest. It's like, yeah, find the kid, or do all the side quests. Although the thing I love about this game is that it actually makes a joke if you start doing too many side quests. Like, at one point Sebastian even says, "Oh, guess I should go back to looking for Lily." I don't know why, but I just find that amazing. Like, the game pokes fun at itself. And it happens like during one of the best side quests. It's the best side quest because it's a side quest that's just so... It's a side quest that doesn't take itself seriously in the slightest. Hey look, the visitor center. And the door that was locked conveniently isn't.
Is this meant for me?
Yeah, as much as I'd love to believe signs that say don't go, the butterfly's kind of misleading. The butterfly makes you want to go. Because once you see the butterfly, it becomes friendly looking again.
I recognize this work. Him again.
I can get you out of here. Look, man, just let me go. I can take you somewhere safe. We've got supplies. Stick with me. I can get you out of here.
Why is he whispering?
Safe? What's interesting about safe? Why would I want to leave here? This place is a work in progress.
No, really. Why is a parent guy named Turner whispering?
All it requires is my inspiration and your blood.
What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Don't move.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Help! Somebody help me!
He's not actually tied to the chair.
Now, let's make some art.
Tough luck, Ryan.
Yeah, he's not even tied to the chair. Why was he just sitting there?
It's supposed to be art, more like an execution.
Okay, I feel like you kind of deserve to die when you're not even tied to a chair and you're just sitting there. It's like nothing was stopping you from running, except from a scary guy with a gun. Shouldn't you also have a gun?
Another communicator. Must be Ryan's. Huh. Mobius team members. They might have something useful on them.
I wonder if I return back to the other place if we'll get another receiver. Now, if I remember right... Alright, Elixir. Good night. Hopefully you, hopefully you don't pass out in the... Wait, ah, shoot. No, there's an expression for this, and... Oh, I can't remember it. There's like a joke about... passing out. It's gone. Well, yeah, have a good night.
Damn it. Where did he go?
Ooh, neat. Now I'm in a mansion, or not a mansion. Oh my gosh, I can see the other part of the building! I always love it when cameras mess up like that. Like just showing you the rest of the map before you get there. Aw. This guy didn't even have an outfit. He was just pretending to be dead. You know, I feel like having glowing eyes kind of betrays you pretending to be dead. Because everything with glowing eyes, like it always gets back up. Like it's never one of those things that just stays dead. It's always one of those things that's just, like, waiting to jump you.
That was weird. Even for this place. O'Neill's safe house is right there. Might as well give him the bad news about his entourage face to face.
Well, that was convenient. Get basically warped to the next part of the quest. You know, for this being an open world game, there's surprisingly no fast travel. know Fallout 76 is trying to do the same
Did
thing.
you find them?
Open world
They're dead.
without fast travel.
But after what I saw, you're better off without them around. They
Kind
were
of
planning on
weird.
killing everybody in here.
An Alpha 1 emergency, huh? Can't say it's the worst idea I've heard.
You're a real piece of work, O'Neill. You know that?
I'm just being a realist. You can't
Yeah,
save
you gotta
everybody.
love like how much lower quality
Mobius
these
made
animations
emergency
are
plans for a
compared to all the other
If they never made
real
this twisted
cutscenes.
machine, they wouldn't need emergency plans in the first place.
Maybe so.
Like you can tell they're
Look at
mocap,
what
but
they've
like
done. It's pretty
just-
incredible.
it's something about the
Still,
camera
man,
angle that makes it
after
look
all
more
this,
stilted.
Hope your loyalty
Like it's so
pays off
exaggerated.
again. Because right now, it seems like they don't give a shit about you.
What do you mean? They sent you in here, didn't they? Sorry, I didn't mean to make you angry. Here. I made some more of these for you. For your troubles.
Need 1,000 parts. It's almost as good as cookies. I really thought he was going to give me cookies based on how he said he made them. You can't really make a cog, but you can make a cookie. Now to upgrade that oh neat, the items came back in the storage house. Now to waste those gears. I'll get used to the keyboard controls one day. But today is not it. Alright, everything but expensive firepower's down for that. Yeah, why is the AR just so expensive compared to everything else? Aw, now I can't fully upgrade the Magnum. I figure the Magnum probably should have its strength powered up the most. It's like you go to these games for like the Magnum that one-shots everything. Wow, the save music's a lot more quiet than I was expecting. Like, really, way more quiet. And with that, I basically hit the 2-hour point. Now, as much as I'd love to go on longer, I just get the feeling I'm going to get more interruptions randomly. So I think I'm going to call it quits here for the stream. I know this is dumb since I started this for a Halloween thing, and I kind of forgot it was Halloween pretty early into the stream. But I hope everyone has a good Halloween. Or had a good Halloween. But before we go, maybe, just maybe, there's someone to raid. Keyword being maybe. Maybe if Twitch loads for me. Hey, neat, it's Hydration Bot. And they're not 10 minutes late on the hour like last time. Oh, shoot, what am I thinking? Come on, Twitch, finish loading. Alright, so we're going to be rating Clutchmaster Blaster. I completely forgot, but he's doing like one of those live streaming things with like a charity thing. So be sure to say hello to him, and if you can, support the charity thing. I believe he is doing an Extra Life event. Alright everyone, I hope your Halloween was great. Until next time, will probably do something with a slightly better frame rate than The Evil Within.